after slavery, freed people were allowed to go and purchase what they call marshland for next to nothing because white people did not want that. Now, that marshland is located in South Carolina in places like Charleston, right? They also call it low country. So for decades, black people were living there. Now, bring in 2001, where there were some low-income apartments there on the shoreline. Well, for whatever reason, they got demolished, and then they brought in single-family homes that were higher in value. And of course, you know who moved into those places. Now, we know when gentrification takes place, the property values go up and the taxes and things like that. And it's harder for people, let's say, who are renting or even owning a property there to pay the rent or the taxes, right? But there's this thing called climate gentrification that's going on in South Carolina there in Charleston. So what it is the sea level is starting to rise more and more on those shorelines. It is said that Charleston is only just a few feet above sea level. Okay, so whenever a storm or something happens, of course, the water rushes in and it destroys things, including human life. Okay, in a lot of those cases, the people who live in that area, like our people, they cannot afford to, rebuild and things like that. Also, with that, when those low country houses and land and stuff was willed down or passed down rather to heirs, it wasn't really done legally because back in the day, black people then couldn't really afford a lawyer to get it all done right in writing. So it was basically like, hey, when grandmama or grandpa died, the house is yours, right? Okay, and so what some of these white corporations were doing is pencil whipping them, for lack of a better word, saying, well, how do we know? How do we know it's legally yours? Well, we don't know, so we should get the land. Now, in some cases, there could be several heirs to one piece of land. And all it takes in some cases, at least back then, is for one of the heirs to say, I want to sell. And so then oftentimes the judge will say, well, great, I know there's 20 heirs, but one wants to sell, so y'all all got to sell. And that's how a lot of these white developers would get the ancestral land, if you will. Now, the good thing about it is the residents there in South Carolina, the black residents, I should say, are fighting back. They are, making it so where they can get bills passed where they can designate those areas as historical lands. That way, there has to be a lot more to go on than a white developer says, well, I want that land, because what they're doing is they're building all these nice high-end apartments and homes and making it touristy. And y'all know who they're doing it for, right? They're doing it for their folks. Now, it should also be said that in 2016, then Governor Nikki Haley created legislation to help preserve that land, because it's not right that land has been in, black families since the end of slavery. And then all of a sudden somebody come with, some money and big time lawyers and they could just take that land. That ain't right. But guess what? We are in 2024 and we're still having this conversation about black people's land being taken from them, right? And for those of y'all who like the Democrats, you say, oh, they the party of the people, this, that, and the other. Well, why isn't Biden or Kamala more vocal about, hey, stop taking those people's land? Because, we hear Kamala run around talking about, oh, we're going to give all this money for real estate and to buy a house and knock it off. What we need you to do is help preserve the land that black people have already, and so that these people who already got a lot of money will stop bulldozing the ancestral land of black people. Because as the article I read said, had that been the land of the Clintons and Kennedys, the Bushes, or anybody else that got a name, that would stop immediately if their land was just being snatched from them because somebody with some money want to build some properties for, white people who got the money. But as we always say, though, be careful what you do to people, especially the ancestors, right? You go building a house on the land that you pretty much took, maybe it was legal, but those laws are written for you. You go take that land. Yeah, you might want to tread lightly on that land, because the ancestors, they not gone forever, even though they gone physically. Now, I'm going to leave it at that. So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Dmetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube.